random scene of her seeing him changing. I was just saying, I was like, this just seems like a scene that was shot because it was in his contract to like have his shirt off so that he could show off or whatever.
It's like, I cut for like 3 months for this movie to just get shredded.
I had my fucking shirt off.
Have any of you guys seen the new season of The Witcher?
I've seen the part with Jaskier with his shirt off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's exactly what happened with that guy's contract. Was he's just like, I got fucking jacked since the last season. I'm gonna have an excuse to have my shirt off in one of these scenes.
It's like, I'm washing my clothes with my shirt on.
Oh, just really gotta wash this out.
Oh, like flexing real hard.
Yeah.
I don't need a washboard for my clothes. I'll just do it on his washboard.
3, 2, 1, cameras rolling.
Hello and welcome to episode 26 of the No Thumbs Up podcast. Wow, we're over 25 now, guys. This is the place where down is up and thumbs are down. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Pacific Rim from 2013, a film about big robots fighting big monsters. Bang, boom, pow, ouchie goes the monster. But first, let me introduce some beautiful people. We have to the very far left, Gypsy Danger Dane. The bottom left, we have Jaeger Josh.
Jaeger Josh, you mean?
Jaeger Josh, yes.
Yeah. Jaeger Joshua. We call him Joshua now.
Not a kaiju Noah. We can't just add nada to the beginning of Noah's. And as always, the one, the only Spaghetti Joe to my left. My name is Joel. I will be your plotsman for today, so please sit down, get comfortable, and hit that kaiju slaying like button, or catch Ron Perlman's other shoe up the ass. That would suck, wouldn't it? If you like what we're doing here,
Plates on it.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I feel like they like have the sound of spurs, but they don't have spurs.
Dude, I bet he'd be a fucking mean tap dancer.
Straight up.
He'd just bust a move with him.
Catch him doing an Irish jig.
He just sounds like one of those belly dance girls as he walks by.
True. If you like what we're doing here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get more podcasts like this one, and hit the bell button so you don't miss a damn episode. We're going to switch things up a bit this episode. I'm going to be handing it over to Joe for the introduction, but hello, everyone.
Oh, thanks, Joel. I really am thankful for this great honor I'm about to receive here. Okay, anyway. I guess we're going to be starting it by the person who suggested the movie to be going through a bit of the information about it. So what I'm going to be doing is we chose Pacific Rim for this movie. It was released in 2013, directed by the one, the only, Guillermo del Toro, and the movie budget estimate was $180 to $200 million, according to Dane here. And it box office surprisingly 411 million, which is nuts.
Shitloads.
I wouldn't say that'd be a surprise. What's like the foreign market share of the show?
Yeah,
I guess the foreign market would be pretty nuts.
like
for this.
Transformers and like Pacific Rim, I know do really like super well in China.
Yeah.
They just love Gundams.
Yeah, and that's what this was Gundams. So that's pretty cool. The actors from this movie, Idris Elba, Mr. was it Marshall was his name? Captain Marshall or
It's Pentecost, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great.
Okay. Anyway, the big man in the movie. He was in Suicide Squad, the fucking Cats movie, and Thor.
He was also
Name a few.
fucking Black
Wait, you
Superman.
just don't like the Cats movie?
I don't think it was well.
We don't
received.
talk about cats.
Yeah. Charlie Hunman, our main character of the movie. I don't even remember his name in this movie.
His name is Raleigh
Oh,
Beckett.
right. Yeah, Raleigh. Yeah, it's a weird
I
name.
always just call him Beckett in my script.
Yeah, that's right. Not an actor, great movies, kind of a C-list type of guy, but apparently was in Sons of Anarchy, so that's something that boomers would love. We got Rinku Kikuchi. She was in Keanu Reeves' 47 Ronin. Of course, Ron Perlman and Charlie Day. They get their own little slot here, but yeah, Hellboy and Charlie Day is your favorite nerdy white guy. Come on.
Come on. I think Ron Perlman was
Your
also
favorite corked up white boy.
I think Ron Perlman was also in Sons of Anarchy. I searched it up before, but
Really?
I was gonna say I've never watched it,
Yeah.
so I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, me neither. But
Bikes aren't interesting.
No.
Also,
Yeah.
Leather
the other doctor that isn't Charlie Day, his real name is Bern Gorman, which I gotta say, that is just a sick fucking name.
Burn Corbin.
That is
That's
dope.
actually pretty cool.
I
For
don't
the type
know.
of person he is.
Like, I don't know what I know him from, but he's some sort of German doctor in something. Like,
Ooh,
that's
yeah, you're right.
like
PFW back to Schindler's List.
He's in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, is he?
Game of Thrones, apparently. I don't know what he plays in them, though.
Burn Gore.
Fun fact: did you know this movie actually has 0 CGI and it's all
Yeah.
real on-set monster fights?
That's why the
Right.
budget was so much money to this
Yeah, they
movie.
had to keep like building the city back like every time they broke some shit.
Yeah, they had to breed monsters.
You know,
Okay,
that's actually
so-
pretty cheap for what they did. What was it, 100 to 200 million? That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, like the actors didn't really get paid at all actually for this movie. It was all in the set budget stuff. So.
The love of the game.
Dude, the
love the game.
advancement of nuclear fission to build these Jaegers, oh my god, technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2013 was a wild year.
The amount of
Scrapped it all.
diesel engines they used in those Jaegers. There's a lot of diesel engines. Anyway, so this movie is essentially a war against monstrous creatures called kaiju, and they're forced the world to build giant robots called Jaegers that are controlled by pilots that have to go through a bit of a neural linking to be able to control these robots because it's too much for one person to do. However that works.
One brain too
As-
small.
Yeah, one brain too small to control giant robot, understandable. As the kaijus become stronger and more frequent, the pilots are gathered and tested to prepare for an all-out fight for the planet.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They need to
Yeah.
be piloted by 2 people, except for when one dies. Then they don't. Then they can. Then,
Yeah, then they can kind of do it by
Yeah.
themselves. They can
Yeah.
limp it.
yeah.
But until then.
Yeah. Well,
And
is
that's all I got to say.
yeah, nice.
That's all I gotta say
Well,
about
That's all
that.
that needs to be said.
Thank you,
We can get
Spaghetti
into it.
Joe.
No problem.
Who had seen this movie prior? I think I had.
I have.
Didn't remember it. Not surprised.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that much.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I bet it's in theaters, actually. I don't remember who is.
Have you guys seen the second one? Who has?
No.
There's
Haven't
there's a
seen that
second one.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah,
it-
I think the second one actually it definitely looks a lot better. But and it
We should
has
screw
the
up
guy
there.
who plays Finn in the new Star Wars. John Boyega, I think is his name. Anyways,
Yeah.
This has first review.
oh, does it?
Yeah.
Mm. Well, anyways, we'll jump right into our plot then. When I was young, I used to look up at the stars and wonder if there's any aliens up there. Turns out I was looking the wrong way. Riley Beckett, our main character. So yeah, like Joe was saying, these kaiju start coming up, and the first one comes up and attacks San Francisco. It takes them like 6 days to kill it, and all this damage and all this stuff. And I don't know how they kill it originally. If it's just like,
I think they just said enough missiles and bullets and stuff.
yeah. 6 months later, it happens again, and so on and so forth. They need to find a way to beat these things, so they create the Jaegers. They're basically just giant mechs, like you're saying, piloted by these 2 guys. And we start off with our main character, and definitely another main character who's going to be around for a long time. His brother. They are woken up to get in their armor at like 2 a.m. and they suit up. They're talking to their communication guy, Tendo. They head out in their big mech, which is called, was it Gypsy Danger? Yeah, Gypsy Danger. I do want to stop when he, like, I want to, like, fully go through everything Idris Elba says when we get to the point where he's just talking about the different Jaegers, because that's my thumbs up moment. I don't know. Just hearing about Big Robot, good.
Cool robots.
Yeah. And like Joe was saying with like all the diesel engines, they're like, oh, this has like 49 engines per muscle strand. It's like, how many fucking engines are in there? Like, so
think about the cost of a diesel truck today, and then you just like think of how many engines are in there. It's like, damn.
Walks up to the top of Jaeger, pats it on the head a couple times. This baby's got a V682 in it.
Yeah.
like when the dudes are on the phone later and they're like, no, this like program is way too expensive to keep going. It's like, yeah, no, it probably definitely is. Like, why don't we just not put anyone in there and make these remote control or something?
That would be smart.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
So the two get in there and they start their neural handshake and enter the drift, which makes them like all connected and connected. And the better you drift, the better you fight. There's like this boat in the middle of the ocean. They're told like, don't engage with that boat. Just go fight the kaiju. And they're like, you know, we gotta go save the boat. And they, even when they do, they like pick it up and then like put it over into like the storm still. So like,
Yeah.
the way they were talking on the boat, it's like, yeah, they probably still didn't make it. They're I do like the line here where he's like, when you're in a Jaeger, you can fight a hurricane.
They got some good one-liners in this one.
Throwing hands against the air.
That's actually,
By the way, sorry, I was gonna just say like earlier, like when we were talking about like bullets and missiles, like yeah, robot punch is gonna kill a fucking giant alien. Our best missiles fired at it for 6 days, shelling it fucking tickles. Like,
Yeah. Nope. This punch.
and then what is Striker
diesel engines,
Eureka's-
baby.
Striker Eureka's special move? He fires missiles from his chest. It's like, seems like
Those are special robot missiles. They're not like ground to air missiles. You know, they're different.
Yeah.
They make the
These
robot
are
ones more
plot-
effective. They don't use the effective ones on the.
These are plot armor missiles.
The only thing I can say to that is that I believe that is like one of the oldest mechs that has that move, or one of the older ones. It's like a Mark II or whatever. I forget which one. So
No,
they
I
probably
think
just didn't.
Striker
No, I know-
Eureka is one of the newer ones because it's the fastest. It's the fastest mech. The old one is the Russian
Well,
one.
yeah, they had the Russian one, which is the old one.
Yeah.
And they had, I don't know, whatever one. But yeah, like they didn't have a plasma cannon in their hand. So
Oh,
that's,
that plasma cannon was sick.
yeah, it's not as cool.
Striker Eureka is the Mark V, which is
Josh
the newest one.
Oh, well, so they just made fucking that one weak ass then. Josh, adjust your camera, Josh.
So they think that they take it out, but it comes up and digs its claw into the like head of the Jaeger and like pulls his brother out, and they're connected while he dies. So he basically like feels what it's like to die. And then he uses the rest of his brain power to just unleash his fucking plasma cannon into the kaiju, kill it, and somehow walk over to, I don't know, the Arctic Circle or whatever they are, and then just fall down in his Jaeger. And I like it's just like this old guy and his kid are just like using a metal detector looking for I don't even know what they're looking for, but they're like, oh, we never find anything good, and they just stumble upon the whole ass Jaeger. And,
Yeah.
yeah. This is where we get our movie title. Dun, 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 dun. 5 years later, kaiju are becoming more and more frequent. They're stronger, and lots of Jaegers are out of commission because people are dying in them, and they're kind of dying faster than they can be built up again. Stacker, or I'm gonna call him Stacker, Idris Elba, is in like this government meeting where basically they're saying, hey, we can't afford to fund this anymore, we're shutting you down, and we'll give you 8 months, you got to relocate to Hong Kong, because that's where the last wall is still being built, I'm pretty sure, because now they're like, oh wait, we don't need robots, we have a wall now. But it's like, that doesn't kill it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time. Like, even if it
Trump
lasts
win the
like
presidency in the future again, they're just like, fuck the Mexico wall, build the sea wall, keep the monsters out.
like,
Some bad hombres outweighs the sea.
there's a plan.
It really was.
They would just like
It
stack
takes
on
so
top of
long.
each other. I don't know.
Yeah,
terrible
it's like,
idea.
okay, yeah, we kept one out. Okay, 4 months later, it's like, oh, there's 2 now. Can this wall handle 2? Oh, wait, there's 3. Like,
Think about all the jobs that created, though.
Sure.
yeah, that was the thing about Trump, actually. So, yeah, when they hang up, he's like, those are just suits and flashy smiles. Like, we don't need them. He takes a little cheeky pill, and we don't know why. At the Wall of Life in Alaska, we see Beckett, and he's working on the wall there. It's, like, real scuzzy. When he shows up, the dude's like, yeah, bad news and good news. 3 people died on top of the wall yesterday. Good news, 3 job openings.
That's exactly how I envision like Fort Mac.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of like greasy ass dudes just lined up for jobs that'll probably kill them.
Yeah. So yeah, he's working on it for a little bit. Kind of pretty cool, like how he gets around there. He's like sliding down it and stuff. When he goes for like lunch break or something, they get down there and they see that the Australian wall got taken down in like a half hour or something like that by a Category 4 kaiju. So everybody's freaking out. They're like, "Why the fuck are we building this wall? It doesn't work." That kaiju ends up getting taken down by Striker Eureka, the newest, fastest kaiju fighter. Yeah, in actually a recently decommissioned Jaeger. I guess they just got back in it. Yeah, so then this helicopter lands and Stacker is in there and he's like, you want to join back in the program? No, I don't want to. My brother died. And he's like, well, the world is ending, Mr. Beckett. Where would you rather die? Here or in a Jaeger? I like that line.
I can tell.
Just starts like mocking him for his brother being dead. Like, my brother's dead.
Oh, bitch, I don't fight.
That's literally what you sound like. So get in the fuck robot. They arrive at the coolest named place, the Shatter Dome, and they meet Mako Mori. What it seems like is Stacker's like assistant, but there's more there than we know. So she's like, I imagined you different, and she says it in what I'm pretty sure is in Japanese.
Yeah.
But
I didn't have subtitles on, so I didn't understand a single fucking thing she said. I was watching and I'm like, nice.
The main point is that she's like, oh, he's different, and then he responds in Japanese. So she's like, oh my gosh, he speaks Japanese.
What a random thing to put in there. I don't know. How do we know? How are we supposed to know?
I feel like
it's more than we know.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Joe.
Yeah, that's the point of the movie.
The only reason I think it's relevant is like maybe for like their drifting purposes. It's like maybe knowing Japanese helps with that. I don't know. Yeah, so we're introduced to the research team, Dr. Herman, aka Charlie, which we should probably just call him. And then Dr. Gottlieb. Dr. Herman Gottlieb, and then Dr. Newton. I think I called him Newt. Newton is Charlie Day. Dr. Newton, Charlie Day, Luigi Geisler.
Perfect.
Newt pulls up his sleeves and he's got tattoos of just like all these different kaiju. He's like, yeah, that one's pretty sick, huh? He's like, what did he say? 2,500 pounds of awesome. Everyone just kind of looks at him and they're like, nah. He hopes to one day be up close with one of them. They, as they're like kind of walking through, Stacker's giving them the whole like lowdown of all down stuff. Oh, that's our clock. It resets every time the kaiju attack, which like a clock that counts up, and then you reset it when there's when you attack. Seems
What's wrong with that?
like it seems like. You know, normally you have like a.
I think it's just
counter
like the
on-
higher it is, you kind of just want to expect a kaiju's gonna come by. Like the longer it's been going
Yeah,
on.
I guess I kind of like compare it to like when they're like, oh, this many days without an accident at a work site,
Mhm.
and then the higher it is, the better it is. But this one, it's like, well, that could reset at any time, then it'll just be at 0 again. So I don't know.
Kind of
yeah,
just an
I think-
anxiety.
I was gonna say
And
it's like an
same with
anxiety
any
loop, yeah.
workplace without the accident. It could reset at any time.
Yeah. The frequency of the attacks is accelerating. The experts believe, the like doctors, that it'll just like keep coming until eventually they get a double event. So this is the part where they're going over all of the Jaegers. They have Crimson Typhoon from China, full titanium core, 50 diesel engines per muscle strand, deadly precise fighter, piloted by the Wei Tang brothers. It's piloted by triplets, which is kind of cool. They have 3 arms, but it's like, what's the third guy in there doing? Is he like just like this?
Pretty
Just
much.
giving them a bop, a bar top. That's it.
Theirs honestly seems like the most effective with like the ripping, spinning blade. But yeah, the next one is it's Chemo Alpha. It's a first generation Mark 1, but a brutal war machine piloted by Sasha and Alexis Kondanovsky, the Russians. And then while they're working at the Siberian Wall, it says it was unbreached for 6 years. They meet Hercules Hanson, an old friend from his Mark 1 glory days. Hercules and his son are who pilot Striker Eureka. And they had fought together on an old mission, but his son is like a real dickhead.
Just a little bit.
I like how he says later, he's like, I didn't know whether to like give him a hug or a kick in the ass most of the time. He's like, with all due respect, sir, I know which one he needs.
That's a good line.
Yeah, that was one of the good one-liners.
Basically, what they want to do is they want to take one of the fastest of them, Striker, and strap a 2,400-pound thermonuclear warhead to its back, and then go into the breach and explode it so that it closes and they can no longer come through. And they're like, hey, we've tried to do this before. What's different? He's like, I've got a plan, which turns out he really kind of doesn't, because it's not till they talk to... Well, no, I guess... I don't know. Anyways, so they're talking to the scientist again, and some reason Gottlieb thinks he has a way to like blow up the breach. That I don't know why that works like it didn't before. But
It's because they needed like DNA to like access getting into it or something.
But they don't know that till later.
Later.
Oh,
yeah.
They're just thinking, oh yeah, we're just gonna throw a bomb down there.
No, yeah.
Which for some reason they tried before. Now they're like, this time we got it.
Yeah.
But no.
Newt has another idea where he's saying that all of the kaiju are the same. Here's this one sample from here. Here's this other sample from 6 years ago across the earth, and they have the same DNA. He has this like kaiju brain in a jar, and he's saying like we should just drift with it, and then we can find out what they're thinking. And everybody's like, you're a mad scientist. So they don't do that. Oh well, he'll play Luigi. Beckett goes to see Gypsy Danger, and it's been all repaired. Now it has a double core nuclear reactor. It's a solid iron hull, no alloys, 40 engine blocks per muscle strand. Can you believe it? Hyper torque driver for every limb and a new fluid system,
God.
I tell you. This is all said by Tendo, his old guy. It's like, you son of a bitch. I haven't seen you since 5 minutes ago when the audience saw you last. Like, we learned that Mako has, like, a really good training score. She's killed, like, she has a training score of 51, which means that you've killed 51 kaiju. So I don't know how that works. Can't you just keep playing whatever game this is? But,
Pretty good.
But Stacker has some sort of reason.
Fucking goaded on the sticks, boys.
Just
cranking
cranking 90s on
90s.
Was building way above them, shooting your plasma cannon. Yeah, so she is not like allowed to be his partner, try to be his partner for some reason because Stacker's not letting her. And she's saying that he's reckless, he deviates from the standard techniques and blah blah blah. So useless. A random scene of her seeing him changing, and then she's runs away, closes her door, keeps looking, and then he goes, shuts his door, and she's like, "Oh, come on."
Little tsundere moment. A little bit of fan service for the ladies.
Yeah. I was just saying, I was like, this just seems like a scene that was shot because it was in his contract to like have his shirt off so that he could show off or whatever.
It's like, I cut for like 3 months for this movie to just get shredded.
I had my fucking shirt off.
I mean, that's legitimately a thing, so.
That's totally off topic. I feel like that's exactly. Have any of you guys seen the new season of The Witcher?
I've seen most of it.
Yeah.
Not all
I've seen
of
the
it.
part with Yasker with his shirt off. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's exactly what happened with that guy's contract, was he's just like, I got fucking jacked since the last season. I'm gonna have an excuse to have my shirt off in one of these scenes. Like, that scene was just super fucking unneeded in this show, and he's like, I just want to show off for a little bit, guys.
Yeah. They see like
Yeah.
a body of water, and he's like nagging the director. He's like, "No, let's go shoot something over there real quick," and like jumps in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm washing my clothes with my shirt on."
You guys getting this?
Classic.
Oh, just really gotta wash this out.
Oh, like flexing real hard.
Yeah.
I watched this for the plot.
Oh, I don't need a washboard for my clothes. I'll just do it on his washboard.
I mean, that's
Anyway.
still being character. Like, I can see that.
Yeah.
Ugh, toss a coin to your Witcher.
This is where we have their lunch scene where Chuck is just like being a real bitch to him. Oh, what have you been doing for 5 years? Oh, construction, real useful. Hey,
So mean.
yeah. It's
Literally, just he's a dick. The point of being a dick in this movie. That's it.
Yeah, and he has a pit bull for the point of having a pit bull in this movie. Now it's the combat scene of him trying to find his new partner, so he's in there fighting all these people, keeps winning against them, and looks back at Mako, and he's like, "Man, what's going on? Every time I look back here, it's like you look unimpressed. You don't think these guys are good?" And she's like, "No, not them. You could have been winning a couple moves earlier every time." So he wants to come in the ring. Stacker's just like, no. And he's just like, "Oh, what's the matter? You think she's no good?" And he's like, "Okay, fine, go beat him up." So they get in there, bang, bang, bang. It's 1-1, bang. It's 2-1. Just keeps going up. And then they really get going. Some pretty cool combat here, personally. I like this part. And
You mean choreography?
yes, combat.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Yeah, she should definitely be my co-pilot." Stacker says no, and that he'll learn who his partner is tonight. He's like grilling her to find out why. It's like, why are you just like obedient to him? She's like, "It's not obedience, it's respect." And yeah, in the lab, Newt is
Zaddy.
preparing for his human drift experiment. he's taking an audio log, and like he's just like, yeah, if it worked, then haha, I won, and if I didn't, then you guys pushed me to this. In which case, it's all your fault. In which case, I also won. Then he goes for it, starts convulsing, bleeding from the nose, and eventually is found by Gottlieb, who will go to get Stacker to bring him back and tell him that he drifted with it. But as this is going on, Beckett goes to like knock on her door, decides against it, and then she hears a knock at the door, and it's actually Stacker, who's like, you know what, I'm making good on an old promise. There you go. Gives her the shoe.
There's the shoe.
It's drift test time. They get in the mech, and they try to drift together. He's like, don't chase the rabbit. Like, I guess you just have to kind of like let the memories flow, and if you kind of like get too caught up in them, then you get like caught in the drift. And she does. She's like thinking back to this time where her city was attacked by a kaiju, and it was coming for her, and he's trying to get her out of it and all this, and she's so scared that like the blaster starts coming up and everybody in the whole place has to like evacuate. It's all going haywire. Stacker, for some reason, just leaves in the middle of this to go talk to Newton about all that. But was not a great plan. He thinks that the kaiju are attacking under orders. That's what Newt thinks. Like that they're colonists and they were there before when the dinosaurs were here, but the atmosphere wasn't good, so they waited it out. He's like, yeah, and the way that humans have been living with all the pollution and such, we pretty much terraformed it for them, which is kind of funny. He needs them to drift with the kaiju again, but he would need a new brain, which sets Newt on this whole mission to go meet Ron Perlman, who is a black market dealer of kaiju pieces in Hong Kong.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's
pretty ballin'.
Definitely a character. Caricature, if you will.
He's the main character. He's got that energy about him.
That big boot energy.
That pistol whip your face energy.
Beckett is like trying to wake up Mako, and then they finally like pull all the plugs and get them all offline again. In the Bone Slums, also a really cool named place, Newt shows up to try and find the black market guy. It's like behind this wall. They let him in super easy for all the shit that's back here. But yeah, they think that he's looking for like kaiju bone powder, increased male potency. Kaiju boning powder, am I right? He's looking for Hannah Chow, not his real name. He took it from. I wrote down where he took it from later.
That is his favorite movie character or something, and then his like third favorite like something
historical
restaurant.
Character. Oh yeah, his favorite historical character and his second favorite Szechuan restaurant.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, genius, but that's besides the point. He has a long, drawn-out conversation where, in the end, he gets kicked out because they know the kaiju's chasing him. Because when he drifted with the kaiju, they also saw his memories. I guess
It's a two-way link.
It's a two-way street, and now they're like, "Yo, fuck this guy! He's trying to kill us." So a kaiju chases him into an underground bunker where it has a nice, pretty tongue that comes down. It's all frilly and fluorescent for some reason.
Avatar type shit.
Yeah, some Avatar type shit. Literally gets to his face and's like, nah. I'll see you later.
I don't know if that was supposed to be like it recognized him or if it just like got distracted, because I think that's when
the Jaeger came in. Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck back at the place doesn't want like him and Mako to be piloting because they're like very dangerous, obviously. There's that one scene outside of the office where him and Chuck just get into a scrap when he wants him to like apologize to Mako. Yeah, we have the scene with Stacker and Beckett, and he really wants Stacker to like let Mako like have another try. It was his fault. And because like he saw Mako's memories, he knows that it was actually Stacker that saved her that one time, and that's why she has all this respect for him. he like chases him down, like turns him around. Like he's just like, 1, don't ever touch me again. 2, don't ever touch me again. You were saying that you really don't like Idris Elba in this movie, Dane. You just think like he's just
I like Idris Elba is such a good actor. I feel like he just kind of phoned in this performance. Like,
I feel like it's almost the writing of it. He's just supposed to be.
I mean
like,
that too, yeah.
tough guy, you know.
I mean the writing of this movie really does seem like that. Like these characters are supposed to act this way. You can't have any sway or emotion shit or something. It's like something bad guy is asshole jerk for point of being asshole jerk. Idris Elba is big commander guy. He must always be big commander guy.
Yeah.
And like another thing, they're just always yelling for some reason. Like whenever they're communicating with each other, yes, sir, I understand. And, like, I understand they're in combat in these Jaegers, but they're like right beside each other, just fucking screaming in their faces.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it just seemed like I don't know. It just kind of seemed like Idris Elba phoned in the performance a little more, like he didn't really have his heart in it or something.
Yeah. Because
I think he just wasn't written as being one of, like you said, the writing. He just wasn't
Could very well have been that as well,
allowed
yeah.
to do more with it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
the kaiju, which I like how they name all the kaiju as soon as they come out. They give them code names. This is Otachi and Leatherback. They come out of the portal at the same time. There's a double event, and the Jaegers get carried out by helicopters, which definitely is not enough helicopters to lift those things. The triplets and the Russian group get deployed, and I think Joe went over this part with Newt already. But yeah, they have a hive mind, and so the dude's just like, oh shit, you fucked us all. Now they know all that we know. And it turns out that they kind of do, because when the kaiju show up, one of them has like acid breath, which like burns through the like super hard hull of the Russian one, and then the other one has like a spike tail that like gets the head of the triplets, and so they both are taken down. And I believe the one with the spike tail is the one that makes it to the city. Stryker is deployed to go and help them. Everything in the base gets like EMP'd by one of the kaiju, and they lose all their power. But luckily, Gypsy Danger is analog, sir. It's nuclear.
Even though they have a bunch of electronics inside them that
Yeah.
would definitely be affected. But hey, plot armor.
Yeah.
That's not how EMPs work, man.
Anything that lights up, that's all thermonuclear computers. Nah.
Imagine if they would have just made it fully analog, though. Like, they go into Gypsy Danger and just have to flip, like, 30 fucking switches to do everything. They're like, all right, there's a switch per each goddamn diesel engine per muscle strand.
I like just for a second here, going back to when Newt or Charlie Day is like running to get into that bunker. He keeps just like passing people and pushing them. He's like, I'm a doctor. It just seems very just Charlie Day. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think by far, like, he's at least by far my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah.
Just Charlie Day being Charlie Day for the most part. Like, it seemed like Guillermo del Toro was just like, do your fucking thing. Like,
It's like they didn't even like give him a script. They were just like, here, be funny.
yeah.
He's not in a whole lot of movies, so it's weird to see him in it. He's in like Horrible Bosses, this, and then like the Mario movie.
He's in a lot more movies now.
Yeah.
Like, I watched a rom-com the other day with him. That was pretty decent with Marcel.
Oh.
Like,
He's
when you
also in
look
that
up the
one-
cast, too, he's like the top of the cast list, not even the main characters. It's Charlie Day.
Yeah, Idris Elba is probably the biggest out of this movie, and then him. So yeah, with Stryker Eureka being like dead in the ocean, Chuck and his dad end up for some reason just grabbing their flare guns and getting out, and they like shoot the kaiju with the flare gun in the eye. Like,
It's really dumb.
why?
I think that's my thumbs down moment, honestly. That's the stupidest
Yeah,
fucking
I'm gonna have
thing you
to
could've done.
agree. Like he's like, you want to sit here, or you want to do something really stupid. It's like, so you know it's stupid, and
Yeah.
then they're like, oh, I think we just pissed it off. Like, no shit. Like, what were you expecting? So yeah, then it starts fighting with Gypsy Danger. They end up going through the city, and bang bang, fighting lots, and they're like start shooting their plasma cannon at him and clip, which the clip. I don't know what that means, because then when they're about to walk away, they're like, wait, check if he has a pulse. And
Well,
shoots a
he
couple
uses
more
the
shots.
other arm for that one, so it's a different dick in that arm, bro. Go rewatch it. Go rewatch
I
it.
don't know. I think you're lying, and I will.
I
not
mentioned it
rewatch
in the
this movie
moment,
again.
and you didn't pause it.
I'm rewatching this movie again.
Oh, we didn't even go over the wheel.
No, I thought you were doing something different.
We can do it at the end.
Right,
Whatever.
but,
No, we can do it randomly in the middle. Just randomly spin. While we're in the middle of talking, just spin. Just like, oh, this movie. We can do it.
Yeah. Underground. Or no, I missed the part where like the kaiju flies with him up into the air, and then like it drops him down, or like he takes his sword out and like cuts it. That's the first time we see the sword, which is pretty cool. Like it comes out as like kind of like a snaky type thing, so solidifies.
Was the sword like an idea from Mako, or like was that sword always there? Because that would be really useful.
It seems like that should be out almost always.
Yeah.
Nah, man, the power of the goddamn fist much better than the power of the sword. Don't you know this?
Yeah, like
Imagine all those diesel engines per muscle strand behind a punch.
I didn't really talk about it, but like the initial fight when they were all dropped in the water and like before they all died and stuff, they were just like throwing kaiju into the water. Like, what do you think you're gonna do? That thing can swim.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, minor inconvenience, back up. They do that like 3 times to the kaiju, and it's like you're not gonna kill the damn thing like that.
Yeah, like their attack.
You know, like when you
doesn't make
fish.
sense.
You know when you fish, you like tire a fish out a bit. You don't immediately reel it in. You fight it a bit. I think that's what they're doing. They're just fishing.
They're just wasting diesel power at this point.
Big Grim is a fishing movie? Question mark.
No.
It's like
That's the Mark 6 the next Mark 6 Jaeger. Just gonna have a fucking huge ass fishing rod.
Like a human on the end of the lure and just fish for these kaiju.
The angler Jaeger. Hell yeah.
The most effective model.
One other little like thumbs up part is the one shot where they're fighting in the city, and he gets like dragged through a building, and it's like ooh up to somebody's desk, and there's those little like mutant balls that start, and then he goes.
Like, man, they really just didn't take this movie seriously.
Which is okay.
It's a movie about giant robots fighting fucking aliens. How can you?
You just know all the little kids in the crowd are just like, ah, yeah. Love that moment. Okay, you were at the end of the Batman movie. Somebody clapped. I don't know who it
Someone
was.
went to clap and then just stopped immediately.
Yeah.
I was gonna join them.
Who the fuck claps at movies?
That's the point. Yeah, it's like a
Right.
guy's just clapping.
The same people that clap when the airplane lands.
Clapping in the Wetaskiwin Theater for.
Oh yeah!
Gonna start doing that.
I was gonna say, just with Joe being like, these are really inefficient fights, is it's basically just like a Fairly Odd Parents episode where they're fighting the the sea monster like defense squad, where they're just like shoveling money into the fire. It's like, we are not a waste of money. yeah, after that whole kaiju attack is done, we see Newt go back to Ron Perlman. You owe me a brain, you son of a bitch. Everyone celebrates their safe return, even though some other people died, and they have no time to celebrate, no time to grieve. Reset the clock. They gotta get going again. And everyone's just kind of like, man, you're a real fucking downer, aren't you? Hannibal and Newt start at the harvesting site looking for the brain or whatever. They hear a second heartbeat. He steals the phone from him, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's pregnant!" This thing just like breaks out and starts like going for them, and Ron Perlman's just outie. It almost gets him, and it just like slowly suffocates and dies. He comes up, he's like, "Oh, one look in the eyes, I could tell that thing wasn't gonna live. Yep, umbilical cord around its throat, all this stuff," and then he just gets eaten. And somehow is perfectly intact. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Beckett confronts Stacker in the washroom while he's cleaning out his bloody nose. He was like, "Yeah, no, I was in like the first Jaegers. Like the last thing we were worried about at that time was like taking like nuclear radiation. So pretty much my body is fucked."
He's got that super cancer.
Jaeger
That
cancer. He was also, I think, he's a little bit fucked up from when he saved Mako because he had to finish that fight alone. So him and Beckett are the only two people who've ever fought alone in a Jaeger. And then it says that he burned for 3 hours, which I don't know what that means. Because he doesn't have burn marks. So, yeah.
He goes on about how if he ever steps foot in a in a Jaeger again, he'll die. He's like, "You know what I'm doing today? Back into a Jaeger."
Yeah.
He's like, "Let's go, Captain."
Because what happens to Hercules that he like hurts his leg or something that he can't.
In the battle, the last one, I think he injured himself.
Somehow he can't go in again, so he has to go in with Chuck. So today they bring the fight to them. Today we're canceling the apocalypse. This is kind of supposed to be like the hype moment.
They're canceling the apocalypse.
Everybody get on Twitter.
Hashtag not my apocalypse.
Chuck is like, "How are we gonna drift?" And he's like, "I carry nothing into the drift, no memories, no fear, and I figured you out on day one," which is like, I feel like should be a badass line, but it's not quite there. He's an egotistical bunk with daddy issues, so they'll drift just fine. And then they have like the kind of heart to heart with him and his dad. It's just like, but they also already know what each other are thinking because they drift all the time.
What if you found your chick drifting with another man?
Oh,
No.
well, if you think about it, then like he would actually be drifting with you because you guys have already drifted.
Oh yeah.
Basically, you'd
That's
get
fun.
like neural handshake STDs. So
We could have like a whole like Pandora of just people like handshaking with each other, and everyone would just be like on the
hive
same
mind.
level.
Hive mind,
Yeah.
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 That'd be awesome. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Twitter already exists, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Shit.
I guess the best way to do it would be for one person to keep drifting with a bunch of people, and then like everybody who drifts with that person, like, because this person would only have this one, and then this person would have two, and then three, and then four, and then five. If you get what I'm saying.
Then that person would be burnt out from drifting, right? Right. It takes a lot out of you.
True.
Tokyo.
Dirty whore.
He's got
I'm a
it.
drift whore.
The plan, Newt says, is not going to work. They need to like somehow like encase themselves in like a kaiju or something, because like it scans your DNA as you're going through the drift. The new kaiju's names are Scunner and Raiju. They're walking towards it underwater. So this whole next fight is just going to be underwater. I think it's just... Is it just Gypsy and Striker at this point? I think so.
Yeah.
So just about this underwater fight, it's like the CGI for the kaijus looks so good for most of this movie. Which I really like. The special effects were genuinely pretty damn good in this movie. It was really awesome.
Real.
And then as soon as they got underwater, it looked so cartoony, like early to mid 2000s type cartoon, where it just like started really ruining it for me. Like it just, I don't know. If I were to go back and rewind it, it's like something you would see out of a cartoon back from when we were kids or something, where the rest of the movie is like, at least I could shroud it in darkness or something and it would look good.
I feel like a lot of like the weather scenarios and stuff like that is like to hide how
The CG looks, yeah.
Yeah, like that's why it's always like gray and kind of stormy and stuff. They get some signatures coming through the bridge. Their first ever category 5 kaiju. A fight begins. He deploys his chain swords, and one of their arms is immediately ripped off. Luckily, they have one more arm. When they like one of them is just like swimming full speed at them, and they just kind of like stick their sword up in the air, just clean cut it in half.
At that point, I was like, "This thing's broken."
Yeah, it's like, why are we not
using this?
Yeah. Now, like Stryker, because of his fight, is mostly out of commission. So basically, they're just gonna stand there and like explode when the like kaiju come at them. Yeah, so they're gonna go and head into the bridge. One of the lines here I really hate is Beckett's like, "You guys better be right, because one way or another, we're getting this thing done." It's like, that's not how that works. If they're not right, this won't get done. So it's they grab the thing and they are dragging it into the breach. The like it's still kind of attacking them as they're going down, so they have like pretty much no power or nothing. Mako's passing out from lack of oxygen, so he like deploys her escape pod, and she's going up. And to which Noah, I'm pretty sure, pointed out, but it's very true, is you would just die from the pressure differential, just like
Yeah, literally.
just like pop.
No, it's a pressurized cabin.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you can't go up that fast. Even in like submarines, they have to like go up and then pressurize and go up. And, but who knows?
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah, there's some 2042 shit.
Yeah. He gets down into their side, and it looks like kind of like a civilized place of kaiju. Like it looks like they have like a citadel, and they're like kind of like convening. They're like, "Hey, what the fuck's happening right here?" He gets in his escape pod, starts heading up, and blows up the bridge, and it shatters, and they save everyone. Yay! Her
Reset the clock.
her thing pops up to the surface. Oh no, where's Beckett? Boop! It pops up to the surface. She swims to it. Open, and then they smooch.
She just smooches a corpse. At that point.
Right. He has no pulse and he's not breathing. And it's just like he doesn't have like that moment or anything. It's like, you're squeezing me too tight.
Then that's the helicopters fly overhead, and that is our movie.
A secret room.
So we'll jump right into our ceremony of thumbs, and then I'd like to get some thoughts from you guys. So at this point in our show, this is where we have to decide whether, hey, I recommend this movie, definitely good, or hey, you can probably want to pass. So in 3, 2, 1. Wow, Josh, I'm coming at you. Tell me what you think.
Well, first of all, I have one thing that I literally just looked up now because I was like watching one scene in the movie, and like the voice of the Jaeger. Does that sound familiar to anybody?
It is voiced by somebody.
It's
I
voiced by
forget.
the same person that voices the AI in Portal. Just go back and listen to it.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
It's literally AI from Portal.
GLaDOS.
Like the female voice.
Yeah,
GLaDOS is like the
Oh.
GLaDOS is the male.
Oh.
Isn't it? Like the female voice that like isn't.
GLaDOS is the female robot.
No, GLaDOS
This is the female.
Okay, yeah. Then that's the same person that does both voices. I like just googled that.
Didn't someone?
yeah.
I feel like
I think
was it
someone
at the
did say
movie.
that.
Someone mentioned that while we were watching it.
Yeah.
I think someone was watching it.
Yeah,
It said
like-
something about GLaDOS.
Ellen McLean is her name. She does the voices for both, which I think is cool.
So that's why you gave it a thumbs up.
No, that's not why I give it. I just thought
I
I'd
love
add that in
Portal.
there. I love Portal. I mean, like the acting in the movie isn't good, but Day definitely makes it better. He has some funny moments, and I mean, like
Oh yeah.
for like young kids and stuff like that. I mean, it's a cool movie. It's robots fighting aliens. I don't know what's wrong with that.
It is definitely just like an entertainment value movie.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
It is just really enjoyable to watch because
Better than
robots fighting aliens.
Transformers. That's for sure.
For me, like the mechs are a little. This is gonna sound stupid, but they're kind of too big because they move really slowly. Like all their attacks are like, ooh, bonk.
Bro, you seen Evangelion? Those mechs move fast.
I
They
know,
can
and
move
that's way
fast,
cooler
bro.
for me to watch when they move like fast like that and stuff. And like Joe was saying, yeah, it's like half the time they're just like picking them up, throwing them down, or like they're hitting them, and it's like, okay, how many times do you have to punch him before one dies? Like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. Like, the part with the swords, I think, are cool when he cuts them in half, but it's like, the combat a lot of the time just doesn't make sense. It's like, half the time they get hit with missiles and nothing happens, but other missiles don't do this.
It's like
That's true.
it's like the premise to the movie is like one of the coolest things. Like the idea behind it is like awesome. The execution of it is just where it kind of goes a little bit awry.
I think that's where you're supposed to kind of like suspension of disbelief and just like enjoy them fighting. Sort
Well,
of.
I mean, obviously, it's not a movie where you need to think and be like, that wouldn't happen. Like, obviously, it's not gonna be realistic by any means.
This
But
isn't
like,
quite
yeah.
realistic.
I think
I
every
think-
movie.
42 diesel engines per muscle strand isn't realistic. They couldn't fit
They
that
need at
many.
least 50.
I don't think there's a single movie that I've watched in the past like year at this point where I've like I have to sit there and be like, this wouldn't happen. No shit, it wouldn't happen. Like,
No, it's to do that to enjoy the movie. I have to do that all the time because I get way too critical.
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
get
like,
that.
the more you're pulled out of it, like, I don't know, it makes a difference.
It wasn't even like that pulled me out of it. It's like their writing and acting just seemed super robotic and just straightforward. It just
Yeah,
didn't
it seemed like they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, it really did.
Well,
It was
with
cool.
that, I suppose that is our
Yeah.
our thoughts on that movie. We forgot to mention this wheel here at the beginning, but every week we come here to review a movie, and then we'll spin a wheel to find out which movie we will review the next week. Noah's movie on the wheel this week is Falling Down. I believe he's put it on here before, but he had a buffer week, so it's fine.
It's okay.
My movie is Hancock with Will Smith, where he's like a homeless superhero. Joseph's movie is 300, where there are precisely 300 men that fight even more men.
You can count them.
Directly accurate.
Sniper Special Ops
Yeah, it's
is...
a really bad Steven Seagal movie.
I'm excited if it lands on that, but also dreading it.
Yeah, I just watch it anyways if it isn't.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail is our bonus movie this week because Marcel's not here, and Idiocracy is Dane's movie.
Honestly, I'd be happy with any of these movies. All of these ones seem pretty good.
I've been wanting to watch Idiocracy. For anyone who doesn't know what it is, it's like they bring like it's like the dumb or like not the dumbest, but they have to bring really dumb people from the past to the future for some reason. And
No, they freeze a guy who's like a normal guy by today's standards. And it's supposed to be like a year program, but it gets all messed up, and he like ends up unfreezing 500 years in the future, and humanity is just super dumbed down by that point.
Such a good
then
movie.
doesn't he become
Sounds good.
like
He's the world's smartest man when he goes in there, like by far.
all right, so I'm gonna give this here a spin and we'll see what we're watching.
Yeah, I'm fine with any of these.
Monty Python
Python.
and the Holy Grail. Oh
That's what
man,
we need.
that's gonna be a good one.
That'll be a good one.
So if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to leave a like, comment which movies you'd like us to review, subscribe if you want to see more episodes just like this one. Thank you for joining us on this here Pacific Rim journey, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.